what we are going to do, we'll just talk on the I'm going to make this thing very simple. We'll just talk about the basics of SQL, and then we do some exercises with SQL. So let us begin. So welcome to our week 2 and our free trial last week. We were talking about databases and SQL, understanding the basics of databases and structured query language. Now, what is a database? I'm sure a lot of you guys have already worked with database one way or another. To those that have worked or that use SQL, you've already worked comes from a database. To those that work with Python and Pandas, most likely a CSV, but it still counts. A CSV is not a database for CSV. But now, a database is an organized collection of data. It helps store, manage, and retrieve data efficiently. And as per store, manage, and retrieve data, you could store data in a database. Now, a database has its limitations, but it is still mandatory, not mandatory, it is still necessary for it's going to go obsolete. That database is out there of organized data. And by organized, it's tabulated. Tabulated, it is in a table, and this table has columns and rows. Okay, columns and rows. As long as the data is organized in columns and rows in the database, then it is an organized collection of data. Now we have different types of databases. We have the relational databases that uses the relational database management systems. And we also have the non-relational databases, NoSQL. What was that?
Yes, we are hearing you, but please, I don't know if you can.
Database management systems. Now, these database management systems are where we store structured data, and this data, they are stored in tables. Okay, and we use SQL to query or get data from these tables in the relational database management systems. Now, examples of these are DBMS, MySQL, Postgres, SQL Server, IBM DB2, but I don't believe IBM DB2 is open source. Postgres is open source. I believe MySQL is open source too. It has its own open source version. But there are some RDBMS that are not open source. You actually need to either provision them on cloud, or you need a license to use for them. Now, apart from the normal relational databases that hold data that is organized in tables, rows, and columns, we have non-relational databases. These are called SQL. It's not only SQL. Okay. Now, these databases store mostly semi-structured data, or sometimes unstructured data, but mostly semi-structured data. Examples of semi-structured data are data, key value pairs, or graphs. Eventually, when we go deeper into data engineering, we're going to talk about this. But this is more of the higher level when we are going into data engineering. If you use NoSQL, we are going a little bit higher. It's not like basic. And examples of NoSQL databases. Okay, so we have already talked about the we have already talked about the databases. So let us go to the next slide, which is structured query language. Now understand that SQL is the only structured query language, literally SQL. Now there's programming language, but SQL is a query language. It's used to query database as well. So CRUD, CRUD, create, read, update, and delete data. Now, understand just this basic part because a lot of people misunderstand this thing. So even I say, because I had the same issue before. So a lot of you might not, but I had the same issue before. I used to mistaking row for column and column for row. Okay. Now let's see it like this. We have a table. This is a table in a database. This is a screenshot of the output from MySQL. So we have a table. This entire this is a table. And this table has 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 4 columns and it has several rows. Okay. So if you look at this data like this is a column. Actor ID is a column, and this columns rows holds unique set of data. Okay, so each row represents a single data entry. Okay, each column represents like a specific attribute of the data. Let's say we have a table. So we have about, let's just say we have 80 billion people on Earth, maybe 8 billion people on Earth, and their data is in a database in one table. We have somebody's first name, we have somebody's last name, maybe their height, maybe their skin color, and some other attributes. So those are the columns. Then when we go into the rows, the first row might be the person's name as per Josh, John, something like that. Then the age might be 20 something. Those are the kind of data that are in rows. So if you already understand vertical and horizontal, vertical holds the columns, 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 columns. Horizontal holds the rows. Okay, that makes sense. Basic, we are going to learn about this one soon. So why learn SQL? SQL is used in several areas of tech, whether you're analyzing data or building a software as per backend development, data science, data engineering, a lot. And it works across different platforms. In fact, 70% of the interviews I've done as data engineer before I got my job was based more on SQL. So that's why I rated SQL above Python. Right track already. And it's also very easy to learn once you get to joins. But it's still very, very easy to learn. As long as you understand the business data and what the business is trying to solve, or what the business is trying to do, or the entirety of what the business is about, then you don't have any issue. That is it for now. Let's go straight into the solving. Confirming that, can you guys still hear me? Just thumbs up if you can hear me. Nice. So we are going to be, we're not going to install anything today. Maybe in our next class, we're going to install something. But before we do that, I have something for you guys. So I created this application. That's the major reason why I have not really given you guys the videos since I got lost in creating this application. So basically what this application does is it's a Streamlit app that you can upload CSV files to it, and you can use SQL to query these CSV files. You can also add, these are the different types of files that you can upload and work with. Excel, CSV, Parquet, JSON, and the rest. I've not really tested everything below JSON, but let's see. So we want to upload, I'm uploading a file currently. If you're uploading data to a relational database, it actually needs to be, each column needs to actually be on a strict data type. So if you have a financial column, let's just call it financial column, something like this, it should just be integers. This sign should not be there. Okay, like this is an address. Yeah, I hope you understand what I mean. So if you have a column for price, it should only be integer. If you have a column for the date should only have a particular format for the date. I will still get back to the course, but for now, let me just show you guys this. So we have, and every single CSV upload is always going to be called data. So I'm just going to get the first 5 columns here. Okay. Now let's say I want to get something else. Okay, let's say I want to get where rating is 5.0. Okay, so we have all the ratings here, 5.0. Now, if the column we are working with is actually strictly on the right data type, then to work well for you. But before that, you might need to clean the file before you upload it here. So you guys should have your fun working with any of the CSV files you have on your local machine. And oh yes, I also added something that shows you if you have issues with your the CSV you actually uploaded. I'm just going to put that here for your enjoyment. So enjoy the Streamlit too. Let us go back to our actual study. Welcome, Amy. How have you been? Hope you've been well.
Trying to be.
We don't really have a choice. We have to be. Sorry?
How are you today?
I'm doing my best to keep smiling.
Okay.
So now we are going to be, like I said, we're not going to actually download any Arrow DBMS today. We'll just learn basics of SQL. So let's see, where do we begin from now? We shall begin with a select statement. Well, let me explain the platform first. This is sqlpractice.com. Let me post it first before you go and enjoy the CSV to SQL query tool that I built. I'm enjoying that. So, okay, so now sqlpractice.com. Now, with SQL Practice, you get to query and learn SQL in an online environment without the need to actually download any relational database management systems. Now, there are 2 databases here. We have Hospital DB and Northwind DB. And in this Hospital DB, we have several tables: the patient's table, admissions table, doctor's table, and also the province names. But we're only going to be working with the patient's table for now, just to begin. So have in mind all these columns, okay? So let's begin with a simple select statement. I want to get every single data from the patient's table, okay? This is how you get data from a patient's table. This is there are 430 entries of the data here. So we have begun. Everything I'm even doing here, I've done it in the video tutorial that I will send after now. Okay, so now we have understood select. Select star. Star means everything from patients. Now there's something you need to understand. Every single relational database management system, like let's say Postgres, SQL, MySQL, SQL Server as well. They use SQL, yes, but there are some tiny changes that make all of them unique. Now you could be getting an error with SQL Server because you are wondering, this thing worked in Postgres. Why is it not working here? Until you go and find out that Postgres has a different way of implementing something like that. Okay. So just if it doesn't work out with your different use cases, like some of you might be using Postgres with pgadmin, some of you might be using MySQL with MySQL Workbench. So whatever you start with, understand it might not always work with the other database management systems, but don't be dismayed. It's basically the same thing. So now let's say I would like to get specific rows. I want to get specific rows now from this data set. It's simply by just stating the rows you would like to get with a comma. Okay, so we have first name, last name, and birth date from patients, and that is the only thing we are going to get for now. And let's say I would like to get distinct values. Okay, so let's say I want to get city, just city. And let's say yes, so I want to get city from patients, and it's going to give us all the cities from patients, but I want distinct city. I don't want it to show me duplicates. Distinct is basically just removing duplicates from the data that is being returned. So see, we have 4320 in this data table. Okay, now we don't know how many, so let us count how many. Count. Now we don't know how many, so let us count how many. This should give us, okay, see, we have count the number of cities now is 93 in this patient's table. Okay. Oh God. So now we are going to go more. You could work with any you could work with other columns. Just 8. Okay, I see. I believe a province has several cities in it, and there are just 8 here with 93 cities. Okay, so now this is, we have understood selecting distinct and selecting several columns from a data table. So now let us go into filtering the data. Let me look at the data set again. This is the entire data set. Okay. So now we're going to use the where clause first. And I would like to get every single female gender. So let's say select every single row from patients, but select only where gender is equal to female. Okay, now something you should understand then. If you're using the key from this sqlpractice.com, you can use it in lowercase. Management systems, where you can use it in lowercase too. But it doesn't matter whether it's in lowercase or not. It's not exactly case sensitive. Some people don't really care whether it's uppercase or lowercase, but conventionally we use uppercase. Now, when it has to do with a table name, I want to get all female data, only just female data. So we are selecting everything from the patients where gender is equal to female. Okay, so now we have everything F as per F and M, female, male. Now let's say you mistakenly put lowercase f here. It will not work because you need to use exactly what the table name is, or the column name is, or the actual row data you actually maybe want to work with. Okay, so now we have done that. Let's use another column. Let's use where city, column name is, or the actual where city is equal to Let's use Ancaster. Did somebody raise hand?
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Kasmi, Hafa.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out some things. Out of a situation whereby the person keying entering the data, um maybe for the gender, for instance, some of the this in some of the okay, for female, for instance, some we are written using small letter, some we are written using capital letter, and we know that they are not the same. So how do we rectify this?
Well, a good data engineer would actually make sure that every single data entry inside the database is clean. And
Okay.
by clean, yes, it needs to be actually regulated with how it's supposed to be.
Okay.
Let me give you, have worked with a database where in a table, the table, sorry, one meaning true, zero meaning false, true and false. Okay. So what I did was I exported the entire table out. Thank God the table was not so big. It was just like 500 rows of data. I got everything out. I used Python to clean the data and did some basic data integrity checks to check each column, making sure that the date was actual dates, as in it followed one particular
Format.
update. And I changed the one and zero to I changed the true and false to just one and zero completely. And then I pushed it back. I dropped that table. I checked if the rows were correct. I did some random selects to check if the ID I was checking and the one on my own Python, this thing was correct. So once it was correct, I dropped the table on the database and pushed the clean one back there. Now there are some companies that will never allow you to drop their table. In fact, you don't even drop a company's table. If you want to clean something there, you will need some high level of clearance. Because, like data is like the company's most important asset. That's where they know their past, and from their past, they will know where the business is going to and how to make it go where they want it to. Okay. So, yes, there are some times where you will see irregularities in a database table. But most times you, as a data engineer, should make sure that before any data gets into the data table, it should be clean and rectified. So let us continue. So now we have select star from patients where city is equal to Ancaster. Let me do it in a way they might ask you in a company. They might ask you, so get us every single row from the patients table that's okay, get us every single Ancaster record from the patients table. And this is simply how you do it. But they might tell you, get us every single male data. And this male should be from city equals to Ancaster. And gender. Equal to male. Okay. Now these are all the males in Ancaster. Let's say we want to get tall. We say we want to get tall males in Ancaster, and we use height. So now these are the only people in Ancaster, the only males in Ancaster where they have their height above 200. Now they might ask you in a working place like, okay, now on the patient's table, get us every single male in Ancaster that is taller than 200 cm. And this is how you go about it. Could even go further, but you could even go further and they might ask you, and this person should be born between 1990 to, but we will eventually get there. So we have worked with where after where we should do and in. Or should we do more? No. So let's say you want to, let's sort data, okay? What are we going to find now? Let me clear it first. So everything is here. So let's say we would like to get let us work with females now. So we would like to get everything from patients where gender is female. And allergy is equals to something. Sulfur. Okay, so now we have all the females that are allergic to sulfur. Okay. And let's work with AND. No, I remember when we were talking about Python, when I said if you are using AND, both conditions need to be true for the outcome to actually be true. It works the same way, yeah. So gender is equals to female, gender is equals to female, allergy is equals to sulfur, allergy is equals to sulfur. These two conditions need to be met before the row is returned. So it's going to check every single row that has female and also has sulfur before it returns the row. So if one has female and it doesn't have sulfur, it lets you go. Okay. Now, if you use or on the other hand, or changes things, or at least one should be available, then it's going to bring is going to return the row. Okay. So if, let me run it first. So here we have, now look at this part now. This is male, but the allergies is sulfur. Okay. And this is female, but the allergies is penicillin. So you understand what I mean now? With and, both conditions need to be true. Okay. Both conditions need to be true and true. But with or, at least one condition should be true before it gives you the data row. Yes, the row. Okay. So now let us use order by. Let us order by. How do we order by? So yes, order by is basically just sorting data. Yes, that's the best way I can put it. It's basically just sorting data in SQL. And you can order by a particular column. Let us order by let's order by heights. Let's see if that will work. Hey, it did. Is that possible? I'm used to the feet and inches measurements, not cm, or is it millimeter? And I think it's cm. But this has to be a baby to be this short. But let's just use order by. So order by, you are sorting by a particular column, and you could do a data set where the highest height, then start by the height. And we could also do it. Now, you don't always have to use a numerical value. You could also do it by, is a date data type. Somebody rose hand for the class. Where is it? You can ask the question. Relational database will be using.
Yes.
Okay, for now, I would like to say Postgres, which is pgadmin, because that's what I'm used to. But I would also I would like to know what you guys are used to. So I will ask now, Casimir, first of all, which database management system have you used before, if you have?
Yeah, I've used Postgre and SQL Server.
Okay. So you have worked with pgadmin?
Yes,
Okay.
I
Thank you.
have installed in my system, but the one I want to try out is MySQL.
I see. Postgres still works well. So now, Amy, have you used any of the above mentioned?
Postgres.
Okay, so by Postgres, pgadmin.
Yes.
So you have pgadmin installed on your laptop.
Yes, I do.
Nice. Anna G, have you worked with any of those? Hello, Anna. Anna G.
Yes. I work a little bit on SQL, but it's a while ago.
Okay.
But I
So
not that much.
have you worked with pgadmin or MySQL Workbench?
No, I did not.
Okay, understood. To Fevin, which one do you work with a lot?
Oracle SQL.
Oracle. Wow, your company uses a very old tool.
Mm-hmm.
Have you worked with pgadmin?
No,
Do you think you can work with pgadmin?
I think so.
Very well. I will make a video tutorial on how to install pgadmin and how to use it basically. Okay, thank you. So let me go back. So pgadmin it is. Okay, so where was I? I was in here. Order by patients. We are this or okay, yes, we were using or. Now our conditions or our filtering could even go longer. We could use where this is equal to this or this is equal to this, and city is equal to, let's just use Toronto. Yes, now we have it. I was wondering why it was not giving me everything on Toronto. The all. So we have what we have here is just all females that are allergic to sulfur and are in Toronto. Okay. There are just two people that are allergic to, just two females that are allergic to sulfur in the city of Toronto. Okay, now let us go to, after we use where, we are going to be getting, okay, we have already talked about and or. So next we're going to be working on not. Okay, yes, not. We talked about not in Python too. So you guys can already see the similarities between SQL and Python. Of course, there are two different tools, but you see the similarities. Now these similarities are like standard in tech. So if you understand one, to be easier for you to understand the other. If you understand SQL, you could eventually get Python a little bit easier. Not so much, but a little bit easier. The same way if you know Python, you would get SQL a lot easier. So let's see with not. Let's go back to the base. So now we have everything here. Not basically gives us what is not. Let me write a query first so I will explain it from the query. So we have select from patients. We are city not. Now understand what I'm about to do. This is going to give us an error. Let's use Hamilton. Okay. Now remember, if we do something like, it will work like this, but once you are using not, it's going to change. You're going to have to do something else. You won't use equal to, you use like. Okay. Now, like is an SQL clause on its own that some people call wildcard, but we'll get into that. So now you see how it works. So what we're getting now is everything that is not Hamilton. Okay, not at all Hamilton at all. If with Hamilton, only Hamilton. Okay, it's basically saying give us every single data where the city's name is Hamilton. If you do this, it's going to give us the same thing. But then if you want to do not equal to, it won't work. If you do not equal to, it won't work. Now, not equal to won't work because with, remember when we were talking about Python, not equal to, this was not equal to, okay? But we don't have, we have, it's a similar syntax for that here. And it is this. Before I do that, let me show you guys how not, like, we can now look at this data very well, okay? 25920. 25920. So not like and this are basically the same thing. Not equal to in Python and this greater than less than sign is the same thing. Not equal to and this is basically doing the same thing. So understand, if you want to use not, this will not work. Not equal to will not work. You have to actually use not like or that. Okay. So now let me try something else. I know. When we get there, I'm going to explain it. So now we have talked about not. Let us talk about null and not null. So let's say now there are some data sets that can allow null values. Okay, but there are some data sets that can never allow null values. Like in real world cases, some data sets can never allow null values. So when you are creating a table, because as a data engineer, creating and modifying tables or updating tables is your job. Most of the time, if you have creating tables, you are creating tables for them. Okay, you need to understand that. Just understand this part now. Not everybody has an allergy. Okay, so allergies might have, if you have a column allergy, it's definitely going to have some null values. Not everybody, which, let me engage you guys. Can you guys tell me any thing in or any concept in our normal day-to-day life that not everybody has? It is irrespective of skin color or not, but not everybody has it. Like allergies, not everybody has allergies. Give me another example. Anybody, please. Anybody? No, no. Nuts and peanuts. No. I said something like allergies, but not allergies. Like not everybody has it. not necessarily like say allergies. Like, let me give an example. I'm thinking. Nothing is coming to my mind now. But all I'm trying to say is that there are some things that can have null values. There are some concepts in life that not everybody has. There are some things that you
Be allergic to peanuts, but I'm not.
anybody. I can't think of any at the moment. But let us just continue now. But when it comes to when it comes to things like weight, that one everybody must weigh something. Okay, nobody's light, and everybody must be a particular height. Everybody must have been born at a particular time of the day, or at a particular day. Nobody just puffed into existence. Okay, so all those ones will definitely not have no values, except if your data is incomplete. Then you have no values. But if your data is complete, consistent with everything correct, you should not have no values in a column that should not have no values. Columns that should not have no values, like the ones we are seeing here. First name should not have no values because everybody has a name. Not everybody has a last name. I've seen some people without last names, but everybody should have a first name. Everybody has a gender. Everybody was born a particular day. Everybody has a location that they are from. Even if you want to mark them by latitude and longitude, everybody has a location that they are. Okay. These you cannot you cannot change it. They cannot carry no values at all. Okay. Now, no values doesn't always mean that
Income.
income.
Not everybody has income.
So you're trying to say like not a lot of, like people are broke a lot.
Perhaps when you are collecting data that are cut across different ages.
Okay. Okay, I see you now. I see you now.
Yeah, there are some people are not of age of working, so apparently they will not have income.
But they're of the age of making money now. You don't have to work to make money.
Yes, you need to work to make money.
You don't need to work to make money. Oh. Some people might be born into money. But yes, I get you. That could also be yes, it could also have no values. But in a standard database, I don't think they'll put a someone that is not working in a table where you actually need their income. But it does happen. So I hope you guys
if you are conducting a survey.
Okay, yes, a survey, definitely. Then in that survey, if their income might be null, then you would just there might be a place, a column that has something like employed or unemployed, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let us go back to our tiny example. So now we have already done null. Okay, we have not done null. Let us do no. So we are going, and we only have one column here that has no values, and we are going to work with it. So let's see. Where allergies is no. So this basically just gives us rules that allergies is none. Okay. So it's going to give us every single, so everybody in this output, these results now, nobody has allergies at all. Now you could go further and check the female to male percentages, but we are still doing basics now. You could also do not no. Okay. So this gives us everything that is not no. So people that actually have allergies are here. So get the difference between null and not null, and how not just changes everything. That's like if you do something like where allergies or where city is Vancouver, it's going to give us everything in Vancouver. Then if you put is not Vancouver, It's going to give us everything else except Vancouver. You understand? Not just basically inverses it. Okay. So insert into. Now this one is basic. So I'm just going to bam. So insert into basically just okay, you guys can see it now. You want to add a new, how do you do it? Insert into first. That's the keywords. And then the patient is the table name, first name, last name, gender. These are the columns you would like to add data to. Okay. After this, then the values you would like to add to this data. Now this is the first name, last name, gender, birth date, city, province, ID, allergies, none. We could just leave this in empty. And the height is 180, the weight is 73. And if I run this to show that it ran, but this is a public platform, they will not allow you to put new data here. It's showing that it did, but trust me, it didn't. But this is just basically how you add a new data row into your database when you're working with your own database. Now, if you want to update your database, this is how you update your database. Like I said, we will not update the people's database because we can't. This is a public platform. So let's say you want to update a database now. And let me give you an example. You have a patient. This patient traveled from Montreal to Hamilton. Okay. This patient traveled from Montreal to Hamilton. So the company told you, this guy is no longer with us. Change his location from Montreal to Hamilton. You now ask them, okay, which patient? They tell you the patient ID is number 5. So you want to update this patient's location. So let us first check this patient. Okay. Select star from patient. Where patient ID is equal to 5. So we have our patient. Mr. Charles Wolf moved from Aurelia. Okay, Aurelia. He moved from Aurelia, not Montreal. He moved from Aurelia and he moved to Hamilton. So update his location. So how do we do that? We start with update. Now, I need you guys to really understand what I'm about to say. When you are using update and delete, always make sure that whatever you're updating or deleting is very precise. Cross-check it 3 or 4 times before you run the query. Where clause is your friend. Anything you want to update in the database, even if, as long as it's a working database, not your practice database, even your practice database, use your where clause to make sure that you're actually updating only the necessary data sets. If you mistakenly update what is wrong and there is no backup for it for you to check and change it back, you understand what I mean. So where was I? Okay. So I would like to update this data. So update, you get the table name, and then you set city equal to Hamilton. Where patient ID equal to 5. Okay. So update patients and you set, so you want to update the patient table. Okay. Which of the rows, which of the columns you want to update? Want to update city. So you set city equals to Hamilton. Where the patient ID is equal to 5. This is only affecting one row. Okay. Now if you want to do so, if you are doing something like where city equal to, no, this is wrong. This is not exactly wrong, but this is a lot. If they tell you to change everybody's location, that is in Toronto to Hamilton. Okay, this is good. But if they tell you that somebody in Toronto is moving from Toronto to Hamilton, and this is the query you use, you're changing everything, every single city with the name Toronto to Hamilton. Okay, so make sure that your where clause is actually getting the precise data you're working with. And the one we did before, where the patient ID is equals to 5. Nice, perfect. And this also works with delete and updates. The where clause is there to help you, please. Okay. Let me remove this and see if it's going to do anything. See what I mean now? If you do something like this, updates, sets it to Hamilton, every single, without the where clause, every single data set is affected completely. And you can't just simply do Ctrl-Z to change everything. It doesn't work like that. But of course, this is a public data set, so nothing is affected. See, nothing was affected, yeah. So we are still good. Okay, so now delete. How do you delete a record? How do you delete a record from a data? We have conf file. Okay. So if you want to delete a record, be sure exactly what you want to delete. Now, again, your company is moving out of a particular city and they don't want to have any of that data anymore, which is not, I don't think a company will ever tell you to delete rows from a city that they're not using. They might tell you to archive it, but delete, nah, that data might be useful to them later. Data is very precious to a company, but let us delete something from a database. So let's say I would like to delete a particular patient row, okay? And the patient row is, let's say their ID is 15. So delete from patients where patient ID is equal to 15. So 15. So Emilila, Emilila. Sounds like a footballer's name. Emilila. Limits. Let us talk about limits in a database. And limits just basically limits your results. Basically just limits your results. Okay. Let's write a very long query. Select. From patients. We are, let's see. Okay. Let us talk about like first before we move on. Let's talk about the like function. It's not a function, it's like a concept in SQL. So we have this now, and let me get everything first. Okay, so let's say I would like to get every single name in first name that starts with A. You can do that in SQL with like. Okay, so select start from patients where first name like A. So if the percentage sign is after the alphabet, it means the first part of the, if the A is in between the alphabet, as in the full name, this is how you do it. This is in between, this is at the end, and this is at the beginning. Let me show you. So like this first name column, this is the first name column. And this first name columns, we have them starting with A. That's why you see all these ones coming out. If you want the ones that start with M will come out. Now, it doesn't have to be just one particular alphabet. It could be an entire half name. Okay, so all the mic is there. Okay, now let's say we want the name to be ending with something. So we want the name just give us names from the first name column that ends with son. Okay, son. See, so Jefferson, Jason, son, Jason, more Jason. Okay, so now you have it. Now let us say we want to get first names that have ls in the middle of the name, ls in the middle of the name, and this is it. So we have Elsa, Elsie, Nelson. As long as there's ls in the middle, this is how you do it. Okay, so this is how like works. And let me see if I can add something. And last name, like let's say the last name ends with T. Ends with a T. Okay, so these are the names end with an S. Look at this. You could also call these wildcards. Okay. Let's look at aggregates in SQL. Okay, and by aggregates I mean like sum, maximum, minimum, average as well. Average is very widely used. So let's say I would like to get all the people that weigh above 200. No, all the females that weigh above 200 in a particular city. Let's try that first of all. So select star from, I'm so sorry. Can you guys see? Thumbs up if you can hear me, please. Thank you. Thank you. These are aggregate functions. So select star from patients where gender is female. And width is above 200. And what again, Seth? City. No, let us leave city for now. What? Did I write this wrong? Let me wrong this first. Okay. Okay, I might have missed weights, I think. Is it that nobody is up to 200 as per weight? Now it shows. Okay, so it's height that's above 200. Okay. I would like to see this in ascending order by as well. Weight above 100. And this is 331 rows. Now let's say I want to count this thing now. Let's see if this is going to work. Yay, it gave us this thing. So now let's say I want to sum a particular row, a particular column, and I would like to sum the weight. Okay, so if you sum all the weights in that data set you saw to be this, let's check the maximum weight. And the maximum weight for this is 1 to 8, just like we have seen. See, maximum weight 1 to 8, because we ordered by descending. So the highest went up. So maximum weight, and it is by Vivian Makibi from Hamilton. And she's quite old. She's quite old and overweight. Not necessarily overweight, but and she's quite tall. Okay. So weight 1 to 8, that's a max. So max weight 1 to 8. Let us check for the minimum weight 101 in this query, because we used above 100. So now let us check for average weight 108. It's like a good point between. So this average just basically adding all the weights and dividing it by the number of rows, basically give us this. So we have done some counts, average, minimum, maximum. Okay, so we are good. We are good to go. We are good to go. We could also work with height. No, we could also work with dates. Okay. Should we work with dates? Let's try it. From patients, where gender equals to that, and this, and order by that. Okay, so now we are good. Okay, so we are order by date descent. So this is the highest date, and this, and if you scroll down, it just keeps going down. But why is it that the highest date is 2001? Does it mean that everybody above 2001 is not above, is not below 100? Start it. No. Now let us do max. So the maximum birth date, this. So max and min also work with date columns, and the minimum is 1923. It's still alive. And let us try average, because I don't think average, you cannot average a date column. Oh, it turned it to an integer. Will this work? Okay, it did. 331. So that is how we do that. So what else? You know what? We are okay for now. We have gone quite far. I would like to have you guys ask questions. Please ask your questions. Analog shifts to you. Hello, are you still there?
Yeah, sure, I'm here. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so
My
much,
God.
Michael. So we're going to be taking questions now. But before we go on, we're going to be going through a knowledge check. Everybody will be asked questions. But before we go on, anybody has specific questions before we move on? Amy, do you have any question for us? Kashmir, Seven, Hannah, any question? Anybody? Okay, Michael, do we have like task for this, like an assignment for
Yes,
this topic?
we do. We do.
Okay.
But I've not heard about the last Python assignment. Why has nobody brought forward anything?
Yeah. Amy, you said you were done with the assignment before now. I was
You gave me
hoping
so
you're
much
going
hope,
to
Amy.
submit your assignment, Amy. Casimir, were you able to complete the assignment?
On what platform do we submit the assignment?
Okay, let me send
That's the
you. Let me send you. Now send the mail. Like you can just send your responses there.
But the assignment, no, I've not completed. But the assignment will send the Jupyter notebook, right? We download it and send it.
No, yes, you can.
All right.
Yes, you can. I'll drop that immediately after the class. Let me just confirm which platform we're going to be using for the submissions. So please let's get assignment submissions. So Michael will drop the assignments for this topic. So we're supposed to submit that work on that ahead of the next class. All right, Michael, let's go through our knowledge check for everyone.
Are you guys ready for the knowledge check? Only one person. Okay, Amy is ready. Anna G, I hope you're ready. Vivian, I hope you're ready. What am I going to ask? Let's see. Okay, this one should be easy. What is the... This is too easy, Seth. I almost can't ask. But then I'll still ask. What is the clause we use to filter data? Thank you. See? It's too easy. It only gets difficult with SQL when you actually start writing long queries. Then you have to sit down and think it through. But I'll still ask. If I want to get rows on a particular column, and this column is a text column, okay? But I want to get it by, let's say, partial text. The text could be at the starting of the row or at the end or at the middle. What clause do I use? Yes, both of you are right. We use wildcard and like, and we use the percentage sign to know whether it's the middle or the beginning or the ending. Yes. And let's see. So when we are aggregating data, you guys should list out all the aggregate functions, in SQL. Nice. Count, average, nice. Keep listing until I see all of them. Max, mean, average, nice. Is that all? Has anybody said sum? I don't think anybody said sum. Thank you for saying sum. Nice.
Yes, I'll take some.
Okay. Now, which of these data types will sum not work for? Or even if it works, it will give you what you can actually sum. You have an integer data type, you have a date data type, and you also have, wow, you guys not even waste time, is date, yes. And also string, it doesn't work for string data types. But not necessarily, yes, you're right, it doesn't work for string. But now when we talk about max and min, which data types work with max and min? Okay, int works with max and min, yes. More. String also works with, yes, it also works with max and min. String, I've not tried strings, yeah. One more. Yes. Float is still kind of like int. Yes, I need one more. There's one you guys have not typed here. Did anybody say date for max and min? Because max and min works with date as well. So let's see, next question. So let's say I want to get every single data set. Let's say I have a data set with a bunch of politicians' name. Let's use that one. We have a data set with a bunch of politicians' name. And these politicians, they have done so many things in our country, like build road or build school or that. So they have so many ID and their name came out so many times on different projects. Okay. So I want to get every single row of data, except I don't want one particular politician's name in the results. Which keywords do I use? No, not. Yes, exactly. Not. Distinct removes duplicates. That's what distinct does. Distinct removes duplicates. Not. If you use not, then put the politician's name. It will not give you. It will give you every other politician's name except his own. Okay. So let's say I want to get columns. Again, I have data sets, but I would like to get columns where or rows where two conditions met. As in two conditions are true. What do I use? And when the condition, at least one of the conditions should be met, what do I use? Oh, nice. Let's see. Let's see. If you want to get, or somebody type what you use to get not like, not equal to in SQL. Not equal to. You guys don't waste time at all. Like I said, this thing is too easy. Okay, now let us go a little bit deeper. We have a table, first name, last name, city with, yes, Amy, you raise your hand. Alpha.
For that, not equal to, I guess I learned something new concerning that, but I went ahead to the practice SQL to try the Python not equal to, and it still gave out the same. That's the 2592 result. That's exclamation mark equal to sign. I tried that.
And it worked.
Oh yeah, I did. I
I'm going
wouldn't
to
know
check
if
it out.
it's SQL or I just tried
Don't
it.
worry, I'll check it out. Okay, so back to our question and answer. I see. Okay. So now, what else am I going to? Okay, now, so I want you guys to write a full query for me. So the first one to complete this query correctly is the person. So are you guys ready to hear the question? So let's see. I would like somebody to list all unique provinces in the patient's database. Okay? Write a query that returns all unique provinces. Now, provinces is province ID. So write a query that returns the unique provinces in the patient's table. I'm waiting. Remember, province ID. Very close, but province ID. Change it, sharp. Okay, select distinct prevent ID, but you don't necessarily need the star. Okay, you don't need the star when it comes to doing that. But yes, you guys are correct. And that brings us to the end of the question and answer time period. So our coordinator, please, if you don't mind. Analytics. No, that's not a bad name for a company. Your name is already Anna, so just analytics. What do you think, our coordinator?
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. So sorry.
I'm giving you a brand name for your new company. Analytics.
Oh my God. Okay. Very cringy, but no problem.
It will sell. I'm done with question and answer.
All right. Um, Thank you so much, everyone. Trust we had fun with the question and answer session for the last time. Who has any question? Again, please let's ask questions. It's really important to ask questions. Mr. Casimiro, why do we have two of you? Yeah, you don't mind having more
Uh,
visitors.
yeah, actually, I'm I'm at a public place right now, so I'm shutting down my system. So that's why I switched to my phone.
Oh, oh, okay, okay, no problem. So, thank you so much, everyone, for joining once again. Next class is on Saturday, and I'll be sending you other reminders to the group. Then also, our free trial ends this week, and if you'd like to continue with the rest of the 3 months for the training, you can reach out to me. I'll send you the link to make your payment anytime this week on the portal on the Analog Shift website. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be probably when the class ends on Sunday. It could be anytime. Then also, I would also like you to give a feedback, right? You can send me a text. It could be a voice note. Sorry, excuse me. Yes, it could be a voice note. However, you'd like it. You can send me feedback of the classes so far. How interesting has it been for you? What has been the challenges you had to face? What you think we could improve on, or what you think could do the learning easier for you? So I'll also like to get feedbacks from everybody this week. And thank you so much once again for joining us today. We'll be ending the training session here today. Anybody has anything to say?
So I have a questions here. Where do we get the questions for the Python class? You said.
It's on the drive link I sent to you. Yes, I sent you, well, 4 links. The first one I sent is the previous Python script classes, right? So that's what we have on. I already sent that to you, but if you still have any issue with it, you can just text me. I would send, I would respond accordingly and find other ways to go about it, especially because you are just joining us. Amy, you asked a question. Okay, we'll be going to get recording of the Sunday class. All right. So I think the reason I've been holding these recording sessions, the recording links, is because some people have not been participating. We've not seen them in the training sessions, but they are still on the group chat for the 2 weeks free trial. So they will get um unlimited access to everything, even while they are not participating, they're not responding, we're not hearing from them. And so we don't we really want people that are truly interested and are ready to participate and do everything, you know, involved. So that is why I'm not sending the recordings directly to the group chat. So Amy, please once again, you can text me. I'll send you the recording immediately. Just send me a hi, and I'll send you the recording immediately. And I would also drop the link for this class, today's recording. I'll send it to everybody that was in class today. Any other thing? Steven, was I
Yes,
able to
you
answer your
guys
question,
should.
Steven?
Yes. Okay. I'll check the texts and then I'll back to you if I have an issue.
Okay. Thank you. Michael, you're saying
Okay.
something?
Yes, you guys should really enjoy or play around with the CSV to SQL query tool. It took me time to build, and it was just for. Oh my God, you students. Sakasmia, your this one is loud though. It's just to practice SQL on your favorite CSV files. Thank you. So enjoy it.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. And again, if you have anyone, your friends, your family, anyone you think would benefit from joining us in any of our class in this training for data engineering, you can always reach out and we could get them on. Also, just to inform you that um, the training sessions are recorded and then they are also streamed live across different platforms for other people. So, thank you once again for joining, and I will see you on Saturday. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.